What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wednesday night Q&A Hangout. We are a day late, but just there was so much going on this week with the combine pressers of Brett Veach, Andy Reid, and I just wanted to push this back one day to make sure I got videos out because, again, there was just a lot going on, and times are going to get a lot slower here soon, so you want to take advantage of the news kind of while it's all happening. Somebody said Cole runs on Cole time. It's 8:16, 60 seconds late. I do apologize. Yeah, there's not a lot going on just yet. Free agency frenzy is around the corner. Starts March 10th. But Brett Veach spoke to the media. Andy Reid spoke to the media. We have a little bit of updates on a couple big free agents. Trey Smith, the Chiefs are reportedly trying to get a deal done with him. Per Nate Taylor of The Athletic, a 5-year deal is what they're trying to work out. And the more I think about that, the more we just need to try to understand what the Chiefs and the front office, Brett Veach and all those guys, what are their 2 to 3 year plan for the offensive line? Because I see a lot of people upset about the whole Trey Smith thing. Why would you have $20 million a year invested in Jawan Taylor, pay Trey Smith around $20 million a year? Creed Humphrey's already $18 million a year. You have Joe Thuney, who has a $26 million cap hit, and then you need a left tackle. You probably need to go pay a left tackle. Well, here's the thing. If you're looking 2 to 3 years in advance, you could probably move on from Jawan Taylor. I mean, not probably. You're most likely moving on from Jawan Taylor after this season. Joe Thuney, unless they extend him, if they just say, man, we're going to just take this cap hit like champions and he's playing 1 year with that high of a cap hit. If you extend Trey Smith, you could push his cap hits, his big cap hits later on in his contract. So you could potentially be gone. Jawan Taylor could potentially be gone, maybe Joe Thuney, and then you're hedging your bet on getting some sort of a left tackle in the draft or signing one this year or next year. There could be a combo. If you're not going long-term left tackle, it's a Band-Aid solution this year. Maybe Josh Simmons or Connerly Jr. Who's the other guy that could? He's not going to fall. You would have to trade up to get him. I don't have my notes right in front of me about offensive tackles, but we're going to look at some of the draft board stuff and we could chat through it. And then we're going to look at some of the free agent draft boards too. I'm just trying to see if I could. Yeah. So Josh Simmons, if he could fall due to his knee injury. Kelvin Banks Jr. is the other guy out of Texas. I don't know that he's actually going to fall far enough for the Chiefs to be able to go and get him, but I would feel pretty good. If you could get Kelvin Banks Jr. or Josh Simmons, that's your left tackle potentially of the future, I would feel comfortable about that. But what I'm getting at is with the Trey Smith thing, the Chiefs are thinking 2 to 3 years ahead. Brett Veach and his team are thinking 2 to 3 years ahead. So if they do get a deal done with Trey Smith, maybe it's because, hey, we're going to draft the tackle and Jawan Taylor's gone. Jawan Taylor's not our right tackle moving forward, and we'll have a rookie right tackle. Maybe they think Wanye Morris can play at a serviceable enough level to be the right tackle. I think if he could be anything, it would be your right tackle. What do you do about Kingsley Suamataia? Brett Veach said during his presser with, I think it might have been, it wasn't Carrington Harrison, but it was with 96.5 The Fan, one of the radio programs. He said, Andy Heck has a very high mindset, I guess, is what you could say, of Kingsley Suamataia translating to guard. Okay, so pick 64, that's if he could translate to one of your starting guards, I guess, if they're moving on from Joe Thuney, okay. But if you're going to extend Joe Thuney, which is a legit option, maybe some of you in the chat right now are already saying, well, this might not be Joe Thuney's last year with the Chiefs. He's still playing at a high level. He could be playing at a high level next year. He could be playing at a high level the year after that. I get it. But if they're going to keep Joe Thuney around for years, and you're going to keep Trey Smith around for years, Kingsley Suamataia is going to be a backup guard? I mean, okay, that's fine, I guess. I guess. Sky Moore has done absolutely nothing in his NFL career. So, and that's no disrespect. It didn't pan out. We were hoping Sky would do more, no pun intended, with the play on his last name. But sometimes these draft picks just don't pan out. We just really would like to see first, second, third round picks all pan out. Doesn't happen. It's not reality. People ream Veach for not landing skilled position players in the draft. Well, CEH wasn't a hit for a first round pick. Sky Moore was not a hit for a second-round pick, but more recently, he's hit on Rashee Rice, second round, Xavier Worthy, first round. Back-to-back years, that's your 1-2 combo of the future and a very good, great wide receiver combo. So Brett Veach and company, they don't hit it all. They don't hit them all. I get it. Nobody hits them all. Nobody. No GM ever. Go like Howie Roseman. People talk really high about Howie Roseman. Go look at his misses. There's a lot of people that miss. There's a lot of a little bit of rambling and ranting about the O-line, but that's the biggest news right now is Trey Smith potentially signing a long-term deal or the Chiefs wanting to get a long-term deal done with Trey Smith. I just think when we think about that, and if they do get it done, we have to try to look at it from the mindset of we don't really know what the front office is thinking from a 2, 3, 4 year plan. I was listening to John, it's Colin Cowherd's co-host partner. I can't think of his name right now. John Middlecoff. That's who it is. He's a great listen. If you guys want a great podcast to listen to, John Middlecoff. And he's a former NFL scout, used to work with the Eagles, I think he worked for Andy Reid a little bit. But he was just going on to say that during the season, GMs are thinking so far ahead. They're literally watching opposing teams at times. They're watching their opposing teams pending free agents. Like seeing how they look out there on the football field. And this is people that they may not ever have on the team, but they're always scouting. They're always looking ahead. They're always looking at draft prospects for college football as well during the season. My voice just cracked because I was so scared about college football prospects, I guess. But yeah, they're always thinking ahead. They're always looking ahead. So that's just what we have to know. We are all fans, me included. I'm just a fan like you guys. We are on the outside trying to look in, trying our best. And I sometimes have to step back and be like, okay, I don't want to just think about this year, even though that's the only year we're actually worried about is like 1 year at a time. But Brett Veach and them, they're worried 2, 3, 4 years ahead, and they might have some plans where we're just not going to see it yet. Danny, Casey's barking at something. My dog's barking at who knows. All right. With that being said, I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Let me switch to the wide angle because I would love to see you guys over here. I got a little mic cover. You guys like this? A little magnetic mic cover. Harry Countryman with the membership. Thank you so much. Kino with the 20. I'm back. Needed some time after the Super Bowl. No, I don't even blame you. I mean, the day after the Super Bowl, I watched it again and the coach's film, but it was painful, not great. You know, if I didn't have to, again, this is not a complaint, okay? I love what I do for a living, but if I didn't have to cover the Chiefs every day or every other day, whatever, when I drop a video, I wouldn't have watched it again. I wouldn't have watched the coach's film, and I wouldn't have watched breakdowns for weeks after the Super Bowl. I just wouldn't have done it. But it was a bad loss. It was a big L. The season's over, and you just move forward, and now it's free agency and the draft. Am I studied up on the draft stuff? Not really. I'm trying, though. Slowly but surely. Kino, thanks so much for the 20 bomb. I don't even blame you. Michelle with the 1 month. Hey, everybody. Remember, 1 month and counting. How about those Chiefs? Let's go, Michelle. Welcome, welcome. Always appreciate any support shown, whether you're just viewing, whether you're just watching, commenting, hanging out, slapping the like button, whatever that level of support is, modding, moderator. What was that? I don't know what's happening today. I think my wife's having a friend over, so my dog was barking at the friend, which was fun. But we're trying to put our kids down, so we're like, please don't wake our children, dog. Please don't do that. Yeah, I always enjoy, appreciate any support shown. Like, we have 300 people in here right now, and if there's nobody in here, there's no channel. There's no nothing. So the support is because of you guys, and that's why I get to do what I do for a living, and it means the world to me. But thank you, Michelle. Tristan with the membership, appreciate you. Deanna Ross with the 10 bomb, thanks so much. Mule Deer with the 3 months. I think DJ Humphrey should stay with us and be our left tackle next year. I just don't trust the draft. Yeah, I really would be surprised if the Chiefs don't try any form of a left tackle situation before the draft. Like, okay, maybe you've got a guy like DJ Humphries on hold. Hey, man, let us go into the draft, see how it plays out. If they could maybe go up and get somebody, if they could maybe go up and trade for somebody, again, Josh Simmons or one of the couple guys that I just mentioned. The other guy was who? Kelvin Banks. Yeah, like if you could get one of those two guys, then great. But if not, you're going to have to go into free agency and get somebody. The question is, do they do it before the draft or after? And they very well could double dip. You could sign a free agent and draft a tackle to try to get him to develop as well. And DJ Humphries could very well be that guy. He would not be that expensive. He knows the system somewhat, and just he already expressed interest. He said, I want to come back. I would love to run it back, get a full offseason under my belt, get the training done, and run it back with the team. So if you could do it, you can make it happen. I don't mind that idea at all, especially when you look at the free agent market and you look at some of these guys available, which we can do that. I mean, Ronnie Stanley's going to be your top guy. I don't think the Chiefs are going to pay top of the market money to Ronnie Stanley. I don't know where he just went. When I zoomed in, he went bye-bye. He's okay, number 8. Yeah, I'm not sure that you're going to give up a multi-year deal, $20-ish million a year. His market value is going to be expensive. So there's Ronnie Stanley, there's Cam Robinson, there's Alaric Jackson, but then you've got some guys who could be signed after the draft. Potentially. I mean, maybe DJ Humphries could go before. And the Chiefs are like, no, we're going to sign him now. Let's see. Dub Freak with the 10. Hey, Cole, hope you're well. Might have been mind games, but Veach and Reed both hinted that this is a defensive-heavy draft. No, I don't think it's mind games. So more likely could address left tackle in free agency. That's what I'm saying. If the couple of tackles that they most likely have like a true round 1 grade on don't make it, then you're probably going to have to go the free agency route. And that's kind of the problem. They call it champagne problems, which I thought was a funny saying. Like, yeah, it's Kelvin Banks Jr. or Josh Simmons. Like, it's these two guys. It's Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. You're either going to get him, but he has a knee injury. Should be good to go by the start of the season. We'll see. Or Kelvin Banks Jr. Those are probably really the only two guys. Maybe Josh Connerly. But that's not a starter to me. That's a developmental guy. Maybe a starter. He doesn't have much more true pass sets than Kingsley Suamataia did in his college career before the Chiefs drafted him. So, if you can't get one of those two guys, I think they're serious when they say this is a defensive-heavy draft. There's a lot of positions that they like, very, very deep at defensive tackle. I talked about that in a video recently. There's a few different defensive tackles that the Chiefs could look at getting, but there's quite a bit that could be there around pick 31. Could be edge rushers that they like, they're high on. You've taken a couple swings on edge rushers early, a couple years in a row, or within the past few years, rather. George Karlaftis and then Felix Anudike-Uzomah. Defensive tackle, man, like if you could get some sort of a stud to line up next to Chris Jones and really disrupt the interior, I would love that. And Chris Jones isn't getting any younger. Like, yeah, he signed a multi-year deal. He's about to be 31 years old, I believe. So I don't think it was smokescreen when they said, hey, we see this as a defensive-heavy draft. I think Brett Veach was serious, and he was pretty sincere. He mentioned, what did he mention? He mentioned linebackers. He mentioned D-line. He mentioned cornerbacks. The Chiefs could use help at all of that. Potentially even safety. I mean, if you talk about Justin Reed going, like Chamari Connor, he's struggled in the slot. I don't know if you keep him there. So maybe you put him back to safety, one of the safety positions. I don't know. Jaden Hicks, can he take a step up in year 2? That's the hope. That's the thought. That's the plan. But you've got potential need at safety. Cornerback, like you have Trent McDuffie, but you're on the last year of Jalen Watson's deal, last year of Brian Cook's deal, last year of Joshua Williams, last year of Najee Johnson. Trent McDuffie, you could pick up his 5th-year option. I think hopefully you extend him this offseason and lock him up for years to come before he gets astronomically expensive. Like he's already going to be around $23 million per year in between. I can't think of the two guys, but one's paid PS2. PS2 is $25 million a year. The next guy below is $20 million a year, $21 million a year. So I think Trent McDuffie would maybe get in between there. I don't think you could argue Trent McDuffie is for sure better than PS2. It would be hard even for his agent to probably say, unless he's going off the cap, the salary cap rising, like getting paid more APY average per year than PS2. But yeah, I think it is a defensive heavy draft just from what I'm studying and reading. Not saying they're there isn't other positions that they're going to draft. Like, it's a deep running back class. They're going to get a running back. I would be pretty surprised if they did not get a running back. Is it going to be early? I don't know. It's so deep. Like, Brett Veach was talking about it. And you got Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. And he's been extremely productive based on his draft production. Been extremely productive. All right, what's next? Let me see. Britt Lyons, 29 months. What's up, my man? What's up, dude? How are you feeling about the tackle class? Cash App? Yeah, we talked $100. $100 bomb from Britt Lyons. Let's go. Thank you, bro. Yeah, we talked about the tackle class. If you're talking offense, like offensive tackle, not DT, defensive interior, not defensive tackle. Yeah, I mean, there's really only a couple guys that I'm intrigued about for the Chiefs to go get if they want to try to have a chance of getting a left tackle of the future. There's not a lot. Kelvin Banks, Josh Simmons. You're not going to be able to get some of the other guys in this class. They're just going to go. They're going to go way too early. And some of them, like, they're saying, like, not even a guard. Like, who is Will Campbell? Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU. They're afraid his arm length is going to kick him inside. He's going top 5, top 10. I've talked about some other offensive tackles in a recent video, but even those guys, it's just like, they're developmental. They're potentially developmental guys, and do the Chiefs really want to do that again? That's the problem with drafting at the end of these rounds. Now, you can get left tackles in later rounds. The Eagles' left tackle, Jordan Mailata, he was a 7th round pick, but he was super raw, former rugby player, I believe, right? And he was just able to develop into a starting left tackle. That is not the norm. That is really not the norm. But heck yeah, Britt. I mean, I'm hoping, there's a couple other guys I could talk about. You've got, I talked about Josh Connerly Jr., Cameron Williams, he's a right tackle out of Texas. Ariante Ursary could potentially be another guy. He's a local KC kid from Ruskin Heights right down the road, which is pretty cool. But again, he's one of those guys where he was a left tackle for a couple of years. He's going to need this is what, who said this? PFF said this about him. He can struggle against speed rushers off the edge, though, and, quote, may need time to adjust to the speed and complexity of NFL defenses due to his relatively late start as a full-time starter at the left tackle spot. Andy Heck hasn't earned my trust, man. He hasn't earned my trust in his ability to develop tackles. I'm just going to be honest. I think Andy Heck's a good coach, but the interior trio has been great. That's been awesome. Creed was a great get. Trey Smith was awesome. Joe Tooney was a great signing. You've had a revolving door at the left tackle spot. Jawan Taylor has struggled at the right tackle spot. I just don't feel super comfortable for the Chiefs to get one of these developmental guys and roll with that, with their plan. Now, if you want to double dip, get a Band-Aid guy for a year, try to draft one of these guys early and just force it. Like, one of these guys has to be our starter next year. Like, they got a year to develop in our system. Then the year after, 2026, they're the starter. I mean, I guess you could go that route. It's just, Brett Veach addressed it. He said it at the combine. You have to be creative. When you got a team that is so successful, you draft late, and you have some guys on the roster, like you have your quarterback. That's great. That's awesome. But his cap hit is f***ing huge. Like, Mahomes has a massive... I pause for dramatic, awkward effect. Mahomes has a massive cap hit, guys. I mean, you can restructure his deal and put and free up some of that cap space, but it's a good problem to have in the sense of, like, a lot of teams. Think about these teams, man. Look at the Raiders. Look at the Giants. What are some of these teams doing? They don't have an answer at quarterback. It's a nightmare. But the Chiefs have their QB1, bar none, top 3 quarterback to ever play in the entire history of the NFL. That's a great thing. Big cap hit, though. Massive cap hit. So you got your own problems and your struggles with that. Thanks again, Britt. You legend. Justin with the 20 months. 20 months? Heck yeah, bro. That's the resident Eagles fan. What's up, dude? Congrats again. on your stupid win, okay? Congrats, man. Not happy for you. He said 20 months going to be interesting come draft time, given a lot of your needs. There's a fair amount of our needs, like D-line, potentially linebacker. Hope Howie gets a tackle to learn under Lane Johnson. Yeah, Lane's getting, a couple of those guys on the O-line, they're not getting any younger, right? You guys have a couple dogs on the D-line, but can you get Zach Bond back? Is he going to come back, or is he going to get a truckload of money in free agency? It'll be curious to see what you do. I will say this, you're in good hands with Howie Roseman. I feel like the Chiefs are in pretty good hands with Brett Veach too, but Howie Roseman is great as well, which is part of the reason why both of these teams have been as successful as they've have. You've got great ownership, great trust in your GM, good coaching, and it all trickles down, right? I'm not a fan of Sirianni per se, but he's been really successful, and you got to tip your cap, man. Kino with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much. Hannah with the 4 months. Thank you. Hi, Cole HBTC fam. Really think we need to give Veach grace about the Trey situation. They're looking at it holistically. Yeah, i.e. Taylor, Tooney contracts, etc. Yeah, that's what I was saying a little bit ago, and I agree with you. We just don't know what Brett Veach and them are thinking and how far ahead they're thinking, who they are potentially moving on from if they do extend Trey Smith. Like, his cap hit might not be big for a couple of years. By then, maybe you're moving. Let's say they extend Joe Tooney to a 3-year contract, but it's really 2. It's a dummy year, and you could move on from Joe Tooney when he's like 35, but Trey Smith's cap hits then start to balloon a little bit, and that's when they know, like, okay, the cap's going to be even higher. You draft a right tackle, right? And then you could figure some other stuff out when it comes to the cap. Yeah, you definitely got to, like, you can look at moves they make and be like, well, why did they do that? But then also think, okay, they're seeing things looking further ahead than we ever will. Tom with the 10 bomb. Let's go. I agree we need left tackle. Andy also leaves his left tackles on an island out there without any help a lot. They stuck with those types of play calls in the Super Bowl in spite of the left tackle being blown up all game. Yeah, it was the left tackle and Caliendo. So it was Tooney and Caliendo. And then the Eagles were working very hard to take away Mahomes' first read in his progression. And they did a good job. They did a good job at it. Mahomes was shook, and they worked him over, man. They worked the Chiefs' entire team over. Offense, defense did a pretty good job, honestly, for the most part, but 3 turnovers from the Chiefs. Offense led to points every single time for the Eagles. It's really hard to overcome when you lose a turnover battle that bad. Really hard. But yeah, left tackle, you got to get him. I'll be very intrigued to see what you do, because part of the problem too, most teams franchise left tackles. They're not letting them hit free agency. You're going to franchise tag them. You're going to sign them to another deal, something. If they hit free agency, they're 30 or older. That's when your performance does statistically, you can look at that historically too. That's when your peak performance starts to dip a bit. 30, after the age of 30. For a left tackle, for a lineman in general, really. For a lot of players after the age of 30. But those are the guys that are going to hit free agency. It's not necessarily your long-term solution. So what did the Chiefs do a few years ago? You traded Orlando Brown Jr. I want to look this up real quick. I want to look up Chiefs Orlando Brown Jr. trade details, because I don't want to misspeak on everything they gave up. The Chiefs traded a 1st-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick. Good God, along with a 2022 5th-round pick in exchange for Brown, a 2nd-round pick in 2021, and a 6th round in 2022. I mean, good God, dude. If you want to trade for somebody, you're going to have to give up so much. You're going to have to give up so much to go and get a tackle. And then the Orlando Brown Jr. situation didn't really work. Like, I think they probably wanted him still around. It just didn't work out. They gave up a haul. So you either got to do that to go get a guy, or most likely deal with a guy that's older, or maybe isn't elite, and you still have to pay him to pretty good money. It's a struggle. Desi with the 7 months. What up? When are we going to do the members only stuff? Okay, members only live stream is tomorrow night, Thursday night, and we'll do the giveaways and all that stuff. And then the live stream, members only Zoom call is right after. So members only live stream about 7:15, 7:30 tomorrow. And then the Zoom call is right after at 8:30. Back-to-back, February 27th, Thursday. Lock it in. Speaking of locked it in, Destiny said, locked up, they won't let me out. I don't know what that is. Is that a Taylor Swift song? I don't really know. I'm sorry. Maybe I should know that song, but I don't. Jack with the 5. Cole, the hotel the Chiefs stay at is a one by Bass Pro and Independence. It's a stink hole. Oh, gosh, really? Yeah, I didn't know which hotel it was, but for those of you who are like, well, what the heck does that mean? A lot of players complained about the Chiefs' home game hotel, saying that it was dirty enough that a lot of them had to wear their shoes in their hotel room. They didn't feel comfortable, didn't feel like it was clean enough to walk around their own hotel room even with socks on. Some people are saying, well, what the heck? They got to stay at a hotel for home games. Yeah, it's just part of the process. You have curfew and all this stuff you have to abide by. They don't want their players out late at night. So you got to be in your hotel room at a certain time and all that stuff. So yeah, you've got home game hotels as well. You've got to upgrade their hotel, please. Got to get a better one. Thank you, Jack, for the 5 bomb. I appreciate you. Kevin with the 5. I can see the Chiefs likely doing some save money options, like re-signing Hollywood Brown at wide receiver. Love that idea. Brett Veach mentioned it during his presser. Basically said we'd love to get Hollywood back too, something to that extent. And DJ Humphries at left tackle and see what falls to them at 31. Yeah, and then you only have, 5 or 6 draft picks. It's not like Brett Veach probably wants to go up high and get somebody and give up 3 or 4 of your picks when you've got needs at multiple positions and you've got to try to land some of these draft picks. It's tough. I don't envy Brett Veach's job. Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. DJ Humphries is a real possibility for sure. Justin with another 10 bomb. Hey, Cole, to your point on Banks and Simmons, I see Banks top 10 to 15, Simmons likely by 20, if not 25. But yes, Jordan Mailata is a former rugby player. Took 2 years before we started him. Yeah, and that's why I'm a little bit surprised. I think that the team is potentially done with Kingsley Suamataia at tackle. Right? Some of these guys take time to develop. Mailata is a bit of a unique case because he played rugby. He needed a little bit more extra time, but there's more examples of tackles who took a year or two to develop. It's not like let me see if I can do this. Can I do this? No, I cannot. It's not like Kingsley would be the only guy that didn't work out as a starter year 1. He was a pick 64. He was a second round pick. So that's why part of me is like, man, I'm a little surprised if they just completely give up on the idea of Kingsley trying to be a tackle. And maybe they're just like, dude, he is not a tackle. I mean, okay. They like his potential upside at guard. I mean, all right. But sometimes it takes these guys a little bit of time to develop, you know? It definitely takes time. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Kelvin Banks Jr., he's gone. I'm only saying if he somehow fell far enough that the Chiefs were like, dude, let's give up everything that we can to go get him. Even package in a couple future year picks or whatever. Go get your starting left tackle. Like, I guess you can't rule it out. I think Josh Simmons of the two would be like the more likely to fall because of his injury. There was a couple mocks that had the Chiefs taking Josh Simmons at pick 31, but you're probably going to have to go up to 20. Around 20 to go get him. Keno with the 5. Would you bring back D-Hop or move on from him? I think you move on from him. I don't think he is done or anything like that, but if you had to pick out of the 5 receivers that are free agents, Justin Watson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, McCole Hardman, and D-Hop. Is that the 5? Did I say them all right? D-Hop, Hollywood, Juju, Justin Watson, McCole Hardman. I think you try to bring back Hollywood Brown. D-Hop is just, his skill set is not really what the Chiefs need. Like, Mahomes just doesn't do it. He doesn't throw 50-50 balls. He doesn't throw F-it balls. He just doesn't. Like, he did a couple times to DeAndre Hopkins, but he wants to throw to the open receiver. It's just, DeAndre Hopkins doesn't separate like he used to, and that's fine. It's not a diss. But typically you throw something to him and he catches whatever is thrown his way, I guess, unless it's third and wide open in the Super Bowl. Again, if the Chiefs want to try to bring him back, I'm fine with it. I don't know if he should be a top priority to bring back. He'll be 33, 34. He's a Hall of Famer. Legendary career. I was hoping he would get a ring, but yeah, I don't know that you bring him back. Just my opinion. Hannah with the 2 linebacker class is fire. Keep that in mind with Bolton and Reed. Bolton and Reed? Bolton and Reed? Justin Reed? Yeah, the other thing, too, about, like, if Nick Bolton walks in free agency, you probably will see the Chiefs drafting a linebacker. Leo Chanel will take a step up. Drew Tranquil can be the Mike linebacker. He's done it before in Nick Bolton's absence, so I'm not really worried about that there. But yeah, Justin Reed could very well walk in free agency as well. I don't see the direct correlation there to the linebacker and Justin Reed, but maybe you didn't necessarily mean, maybe I'm just not fully understanding what you're saying, Hannah. But yeah, if the Chiefs feel confident enough in Jaden Hicks and then they want to draft a linebacker, like I could definitely see something like that playing out. Maybe another corner. You need a slot corner, man. If McDuffie's staying on the outside, I feel like you need somebody in the slot that you can really trust. Alexander with the 27 months. Let's go, dude. That's a long time. I'm okay with staying put in round 1 if we trade up early in the second for Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. Freaking dog. I love the kid. Jack Sawyer. I like the name. The name sounds legit. Defensive end out of Ohio State. I wonder where he's at. Is he on 44 on Dane Brugler's big board? 44. Sawyer increases number of pressures created from 22 to 37 to 64 over the last 3 seasons. He'll forever be remembered within the program for his strip sack, 83-yard scoop and score against Texas in the college football playoff title game. One-dimensional as a pass rusher and lacks the ideal suddenness or length for an edge player, but his activity level and the strength in his hands make him an every down factor. 6'4", 271 pounds. It's a bit lighter. But it's not like BJ Thompson light. You definitely need some D-line help in some capacity. Tackle for sure. Could go edge. Like if they don't bring a Minihue back, you probably need to. I don't know that George Karlaftis and Mike Dana and then the maybe potential what if of FAU year 3 is going to cut it, you know? So heck yeah, I like that. Jack Sawyer. He's 44 on Brugler's big board. So you'd probably potentially have to trade up to get him, huh? Tom with another Dono Bomb, 5 bomb. It's like, or if this is like the past, Brett will pull something last minute pre-draft to fill needs, then have the freedom to get best pick available in the first. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not super worried or stressed right now, and I don't think any of you guys are either. We got time. We'll see what free agency does. We'll see if anything happens from a movement standpoint. We'll see what needs that the Chiefs fill before the draft. They'll then go in. Most good teams are not going into the draft desperate. Like, if we don't get this position in this round, we're screwed. Like, that's not good planning. That's not what good teams do. You're going to go in and fill most of your needs, and you'll go into the draft saying, okay, we probably need a linebacker. We probably need a late round running back somewhere. Maybe a corner, D-line help would be great. Offensive tackle if we could get the right guy. But if they all go, then you just move on. You go to the next position that you've been eyeing. Best player available. Look at him. That's what they did with Trent McDuffie. They traded up to go get him. I don't think Brett Veach has ever traded up for a corner. I literally said they're not trading up for a corner leading up to the draft. I mean, I learned the hard way not to say never. It's rarely done by the Chiefs. Falcon 58 with the 11 months. Cole, did you ever research Humphrey's stats pre-ACL? I'm really hoping he is a solution at left tackle because we have a lot of defensive questions. Yeah, I mean, I did when the Chiefs brought him in. I looked at all of his stats pre-injury and all of it. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I could go to PFF pretty quickly and like pull up his stats. Like PFF it's not canon or anything like that, but it is helpful just to get a little bit of an understanding. And DJ Humphries, if we look at him, his offensive grade, we go here. You really want to go like this. 2020 was his best year by far, but if you look at his pass blocking grade, 2022, 2023, fourth best. But then if if you'd have to go sort of into the details to see like how many pressures did he give up and stuff like that. But hey, if the Chiefs are high enough on him that they want to bring him back and give him a go when he's healthy, I don't mind it. It wasn't an ideal plan when you bring him in mid-season like you did and try to rush him out there. And then he hurt his hamstring. And he was asked about this at the Super Bowl media week. Hey, do you think the hamstring injury was due to overcompensation on the same knee? It's the same leg of the knee that he had his ACL repaired on. And he said, absolutely. He said, you know, when you're coming back from injury like that, he was trying to go out there and compete. And I just don't think it was an ideal situation for sure. Keno but before I get to Keno, if he has a full offseason under his belt, I like the odds a bit more, especially at a not premium price. Like, he's not going to be that expensive. He's coming off the ACL and didn't have a great showing in his limited snaps week 14 and week 18 when he did play. Keno with the 5. We could use secondary help, and we need to be better in the middle of the field. Yeah, so a couple thoughts on that. Nick Bolton is not solid in coverage. We know that. Maybe you get a better coverage linebacker in the draft. Maybe. Maybe Drew Tranquill has a pretty decent year and he's the Mike linebacker if Nick Bolton's not back. I mean, Brett Veach said they're going to try. Yeah, they say they're going to try with everybody. You're going to ask, right? But yeah, that is a problem there. But then slot corner is a problem too. Like, Chamari Connor can't be that guy next year, in my opinion. So even if you're just going to try to draft a slot, like somebody who, and I'll do some research on that. I'm not there. I'm not at corners. I'm not at DBs. But maybe there's a guy that has played a bunch of snaps in the slot, and the Chiefs are like, hey, if we draft this guy, this would immediately help in the middle of the field. So I agree. Middle of the field's a problem. Got to address it. Thank you, Keno, for the 5. Kevin with the 5. If Josh Simmons, Walter Nolan, and Kenneth Grant, are there at 31, who would you pick? Also, which running back do you like? Caleb Johnson, Trayvon Henderson. So I'm not really there. I appreciate the draft questions. I don't really study the draft until after the season. And so I'm not where I want to be with the running backs. Haven't really gotten there. I've been looking at the trenches mainly. So we could look at the Josh Simmons, Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant idea. I mean, Kenneth Grant has been mocked to the Chiefs quite a bit, and I love that idea. I love the idea of Kenneth Grant out of Michigan alongside Chris Jones. Like, he's a guy. Walter Nolan would be another guy along the D-line. Now, let me go to him real quick. He is lighter than Kenneth Grant. So Kenneth Grant, he's like your bolder run stuffer, but can also rush the passer as well. Walter Nolan is a little bit more rounded than that. And per the notes here, he doesn't rely just on quickness to win, but there are inefficiencies in his attack, especially when he's late to read the play. Well, if you put somebody like Chris Jones around him, like, it's going to help because he creates immediate force and can be a play wrecker because of how quickly he penetrates gaps. If I had to pick, I mean, I guess it all maybe depends on the medicals of Josh Simmons, because I just love the idea of the Chiefs getting their left tackle of the future. Even if they have somebody like DJ Humphries for 2025 and they're like, hey, even if Josh Simmons isn't ready this year, we're going to take him for next year. That's our first round pick. He's a lot of people's offensive tackle 1 before injury. He would probably go top 10 if he wasn't injured. I still think he probably goes around pick 20, but if he falls, I think the Chiefs have to go Josh Simmons. I mean, you need defensive tackle help too. So if they're questioning the medicals on Josh Simmons, I wouldn't mind if they went the direction of like Walter Nolan or Kenneth Grant. I like Nolan probably better, but again, I'm not the one studying the tape like Brett Veach and his guys are. So if they opted for Grant over Nolan, like, I'm not going to complain about that. Slightly different play styles there, but if you're not bringing back Pennell, maybe Kenneth Grant's your guy. I just love the idea of getting your left tackle in the future. Like, the idea of getting a starting left tackle the ability to do that when you draft so late is like, it just never happens. It just never happens. People are like, oh, yeah, it'd be nice to have, who was the tackle last year? Chargers. His name is completely escaping me, but Alt. Yeah, I would love to have Alt too. He went top 10. That's insane. So give me Josh Simmons out of those three. That was a long-winded answer, but if they trust the medicals, go with Josh Simmons. You need the left tackle of the future. Tom with the 5. What crock-pot players do you think could step up next year and make a difference? I think we'll see an improvement in play from Felix for sure. I hope so. I hope you see an uptick in FAU. We need it. We need it pretty bad, especially if a Minihue doesn't return. When you say crock-pot players, I don't even know that. Maybe just like underrated or like players that you don't like could just take a step up next year. Like I hope it's Jaden Hicks. That's probably got to be one. Leo Chanel's going to be asked a lot more of if Nick Bolton doesn't return. Who else? Those are a couple on defense that I immediately thought. Who did you say? Felix, yeah, like FAU would be a great one. I'm trying to think offense. Is there anybody... Like, we already know Rice and Worthy is going to be a problem. You know, hopefully we see some good things from a couple linemen that were drafted last year, whether that's CJ Hansen, Hunter Norzad, maybe Kingsley. It just depends on how they shape up the O-line moving forward, but those are a couple outside of FAU for sure. Trey Smith is the second biggest free agent on PFF's big board. You got Trey Smith, you got safety Javon Holland, Chris Godwin, probably not getting a guy like that. I'm just looking at free agency, like we're talking draft too, but free agency frenzy is right around the corner. So this is what you're going to see first. Cornerback DJ Reed, Amari Cooper, like Ronnie Stanley, sure. Love the idea, but he hasn't been healthy, extremely healthy, year in and year out. I think he had a better year last year from a health perspective. Ooh, Sam Darnold, need that. Josh Sweat, that's why you're saying, hey, the Eagles might need some D-line help. Justin was saying that earlier. Stephon Diggs, a little too old, coming off the ACL. Hassan Reddick. Charvarius Ward, intriguing. Could you bring him back? I don't know. He's a little older now. Rasul Douglas. Byron Murphy. Like, I just look at some of these guys. Like Cam Robinson's a guy you probably need to at least kick the tires on the idea for a left tackle. You just look at a lot of these guys, like Zach Bond, awesome. He's going to be expensive. Aaron Jones, is he close to 30 yet? There's just not a lot of guys that I look at and I'm like, oh, the Chiefs have to go get this guy. Asante Samuel Jr., there's Nick Bolton. Mike Hilton, no thank you. D-Hop's in there. I know the screen's moving really fast. I'm just glancing at some of these top free agents. Tyron Smith, I mean, how old is this guy? 34, 35? There's Hollywood Brown. Hopefully they can potentially bring that guy back. Darius Slayton. I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind them inquiring and reaching out to his agent. The Chiefs have 5 wide receiver free agents, so there's just going to be some guys that you're going to need to go get. Keenan Allen, I don't know about that. Bobby Wagner is crazy. Alaric Jackson, his arm length is a little bit longer than some report. It's closer to 34 inches. He's only 26 years old. I just don't know, but the Chiefs should at least reach out and inquire. Najee Harris, I didn't realize he was a free agent. There's Justin Reed. Who? Oh, Aziz Ojulari. Yeah. I mean, there's some guys. The Chiefs are going to have to bring in free agents. I mean, it's just how it goes. You're going to draft a few. You're going to get some guys after the draft. But there's nobody like in free agency that I'm like, you have to go get that guy. It is a must. I mean, unless we're just talking left tackles. There's a few you've got to kick the tires on and at least reach out and see if you can go get. See if you can make something happen. Stephon Gilmore. Justin Simmons. Yeah, so he doesn't pick Mahomes off. I don't mind that idea. Let's see. Essence, thanks so much for the 26 months. Excited for the season. Did you watch Andy's interview with Florio yesterday? I did not, actually. It was the most honest interview I've heard from post-Super Bowl worth the watch. Andy Reid, Mike Florio interview. No, but I'll have to watch it. I'll make note of that, actually. 2/27, 2025. I'll just make note, and I'll go watch it. Thank you for pointing that out. Casey Lion Squad with a 10. Let's go, man. Appreciate you. He said Kingsley has talent. In college, he played both tackle positions. If the Chiefs see him as a multiple position guy in the future, that's a good thing. Kingsley is a rookie. Give him time. Not a rookie no more, but I agree with what he's saying. Like, don't give up on him after his rookie year. If he could be maybe like a Swiss Army knife guy, maybe even your swing tackle in the future, great. I'm just surprised if they completely rule him out of the left tackle battle already after 1 year. Because, yeah, he played both tackle positions. I think most recently in college he played left tackle. But, yeah, don't give up on him, for sure. Kino with the 5. For me, the most shocking news about the Chiefs so far, Pat and his new hair. Yeah, Mahomes has new hair. I don't have no hair, so all I can do is be jealous, regardless of people's haircuts. That was pretty shocking. He's been saying he's going to change his hair for a couple years and finally did it, though. Jaden with the 5. What are the Chiefs going to do with Joshua Uche? Maybe you're not trolling, Jaden. If you're not trolling, I'm sorry, but there's like kind of an inside joke going amongst some of Chiefs Kingdom of like, we need to bring back Joshua Uche, joking because the Chiefs traded for him and never used him. But the honest answer, if you're not joking around, he's a free agent. I don't know that they bring him back. He can play. Yeah, he can. This is your first super on a stream, so maybe you're not trolling at all. He's a free agent. I don't know that they're bringing him back. They traded for him. It didn't work out. But yeah, I liked when they went to get him. He had a pretty nice pressure win percentage. Second on the team other than Chris Jones. And yeah, they could use him in a couple different ways out back there. But they barely used him at all. I don't think he's coming back. I could be wrong. Maybe they're like, hey, we'll bring you back on a 1-year vet min deal. And you could run it back. But they barely used him at all. He was just on the team in case of emergency. All season long. After, like, when they traded for him. He played like a little bit before Minihue came back, but not much. Tom with the 2. What about Remigio? Does he step up as a wide receiver more? Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I do think Remigio is most likely on the roster next year as your returner. I don't think they bring McCole Hardman back. Could be wrong. But Nico Remigio, I liked him as a returner. I thought he looked more impressive as a returner than McCole Hardman did, right? So I do like his odds. Obviously, he's got to earn it. He's not on a contract that's like preventing the Chiefs from moving on from him or anything like that. Nico Remigio is out of Fresno State, I believe. He was a UDFA, undrafted guy. But we saw him. He had the longest kick return and punt return in the playoffs this past year. Like, he made plays. So the thought is, he's your returner, your depth piece in the wide receiver room, and maybe he steps up, makes some plays here or there. They can rely on him in some different packages out there, which is why they had McCole. Because McCole was their returner, but they knew they could use him in some niche packages due to his speed, jet sweeps, bubble screens, and some other miscellaneous ways and fashions out there. But that's a great question. Maybe, hopefully, Nico can take a step up as well and not only be the returner, which is all you might be asking of him. Just be a reliable returner. Don't muff it and house a couple. That would be fantastic. But outside of that, yeah, if there's an injury in the wide receiver room, or just can you contribute more in the room? He'll never be one of the top snap count guys, probably, but that's fine. But can he answer the call when his number is called upon? I like his odds. Hannah with the 5. I went deep in film on Ariante Ursary, left tackle draft prospect. Dude actually did a great job containing Abdul Carter, number 1 pass rusher prospect. Well, I do love that too. I talked about him I talked about Ursary in the tackle video that I did not that long ago. Some of the notes on him. Again, he was a local KC kid. I did say he's going to need a bit more time to develop than some others. He played a little right tackle early on in Minnesota, but in 2022, he locked down the left tackle spot. He started 12 games, playing 775 snaps and allowing just 2 sacks. Left tackle again in 2023, giving up 9 pressures, 4 hits, and 2 sacks. Ideal size for a tackle, which is great. Excelling in the run blocking aspect, yet rarely gets bull rushed or driven back in the pocket in pass pro. He can struggle against speed rushers off the edge, though, and quote, I read this earlier, may need time to adjust to the speed and complexity of NFL defenses due to his relatively late start as a full-time starter. But if the Chiefs are high enough on him, I don't hate the idea. I do not hate the idea. Hi, Casey. What do you think about Ariante Ursary? What do you think about that? Huh? She's like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? But heck yeah, like if they're high enough on Ursary, I'm fine with it. Flip with the 5. Cole, if you keep scrolling to the very bottom of the free agency list, you might find me down there. Yeah, I went all the way to pick 75. This was the list of the top 125 free agents. All the way at the bottom is Kaiser White, Nick Westbrook, Akine, Austin Hooper, tight end Austin Hooper, Brandon Cooks. You're almost down there, Flip. What's up, man? Thanks for the 5. Tom with another dono bomb said all Remigio needs to know is how to run corn dog. Exactly. Run corn dog. You're good to go. Flip with another 5. Cole, I'm liking that sticker logo on the mic. Hey, thank you. Look at this. I got these little mic clip, like these. They're magnetic. I don't want to make too much noise, actually. I think it, but I can switch them just by unmagnetizing them. And this is for Cole Breaks the Huddle. I got one for Cole Breaks the Huddle. And then I got one, obviously, for the main channel, this channel. How about those Chiefs? So when I record, it just adds a little bit of a unique branding touch on the base of the mic. It's kind of cool. Yeah, let me know your feedback on that. Is it too bright? Is the yellow too bright? Should I change the color of the border to like black with just my face and red beard so like it's not as bright? Let me know your thoughts because I just got them in the mail today. Looks perfect, said Brand. All right. Do you know if Simmons is at the combine? I don't know, Tim, if he's at the combine or not, but I know he's not cleared yet to do anything because of his knee. He won't quite be ready. It's a perfect fit. All right, Janae, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Why am I saluting for so long? I'm not really sure. I just froze. Cole, did you see the video of Micah Parsons against a sumo wrestler? We need 4 sumos on the O-line. No, I did not. No, I didn't. Where is that? Are we supposed to look that up? Jennifer with the 1587. Thank you so much. We need Tyreek Hill back. I don't think he's moving on this year from Miami, but I wouldn't complain. You think it looks great? Thank you, Britt. Let's go. I just didn't know if the yellow was too much. I mean, it's obviously my logo. It's obviously the logo that's back here. I just didn't know if the yellow would be too bright or not. It's obviously, again, the logo. But I'm such a minimalist, I didn't know. Thanks for holding us down all season, said Jude. Heck yeah, thanks for being here. I'm nothing without you guys. Looks good. Thank you, Luke. I feel like Tyreek Hill is not as great as he used to be. I mean, he's not in his prime anymore. He's 31 or going to be 31. Brand said you only have 3 sources of yellow and they're very subtle. Fits nicely. Okay. Let's go. Matt said, thank you for your service, Cole. Why did I salute? And I just held it there like I was at the, what is that? The tomb of the empties. I've been there before. Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I just was frozen in time, man. I was frozen in time. Are the Chiefs able to get to the playoffs without Kelsey? I mean, I would say yeah, in theory, but you're going off of a bit of an unknown because they've had Kelsey for 10 years. 12, 13 years, whatever it is now. In theory, yes. But I like the idea of him playing again and being the 3rd or 4th option out there. Don't make him play 82% of the snaps. Like, he doesn't need to do that. Let Rice, Worthy, and Brown cook. And then let Kelsey be the next option. Or somewhere in that mix. Tom said to check messages. Tom with the 2. All right. I like that you're doing the HBTC messages. Let's go. Casey Lion Squad with the 2. DK Metcalf is the ideal wide receiver for Pat speed with size. I mean, dude, I've liked DK Metcalf since the Chiefs passed up on him in the draft. Yeah. Oh, this is kind of cool. What is this, Tom? I don't know what this is. Is this something to do with your guitar, maybe? I like that. Chiefs all day. Chiefs all the way. Let's go. Tom's got all the Chiefs stuff. That dude's always decked out in red. Everything. I'd take Kupp over Metcalf. I mean, Metcalf's going to be more expensive. Kupp, a little bit older, would probably be cheaper, but I think you're still going to have to trade for him, right? I don't know that the Chiefs need to trade for a receiver. Do you guys think the Chiefs need to trade for a receiver? Like, you have Rice, you have Worthy. If you could get Hollywood Brown back and not have to give up draft capital, save the draft capital. I mean, I like Kupp. If you could get him for a late round pick, and I don't remember his contract, like, I guess I'm not opposed to it. Somebody said, Cole, what was the question? Something like, what would you do if the Chiefs could get Ashton Genty? It's not going to happen, but that would be fantastic. Best running back in this draft class. And there's a few guys that are game changers, but yeah, that would be unreal. It's not going to happen, but would definitely love it. He's going to go, I mean, he goes early, right? Top 15? I saw somebody take him in a mock draft earlier. It was an NFL.com mock draft. He went like mid-20s. And I think I was just a little surprised by that. I understand it's a running back, but after seeing how valuable the right running back can be, even more recently in the draft, Jahmyr Gibbs, like, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to go that late. Take a wide receiver 3rd or 4th round at most? Yeah, maybe, Tom. I mean, I don't hate the idea of still drafting a receiver or any really position group if the right player falls. If the right player falls, I don't mind it at all. But thankfully, since you have Worthy and Rice, the need is not super dire. If you can get Hollywood back as well, maybe. He's probably going to fall. Like, how far, though? He's not falling to 31. Surely not. Resign Nick Bolton? I mean, Joe, it's a possibility. If he gets top 5 linebacker money, though, offered top 5 linebacker money by another team, I'm just not really sure. Brett Veach said he's high on the priority list, and he is very important to Spags, so like maybe that does happen. Tough to know. Are the Chiefs able to get 2 Super Bowls in a row again after that loss to the Eagles? I mean, maybe, Dave, but it's so hard to get there. The Patriots made it a couple different times like that. I mean, their late stint, didn't they go to 3 in a row? They won, lost 1, or something like that. Pretty sure. Mike Tilson with the 21 months. Hey, Cole, enjoying the stream as always. To me, improving the O-line has to be top priority. Have to protect 15, number 15 better. Yeah, you just got to keep building around in the trenches, both sides, because there's times where the D-line couldn't get home without blitz help. So the D-line, talking about the Chiefs D-line, couldn't get home without blitz help. Trenches win championships, man. If you can get constant pressure on the opposing quarterback without having to blitz, which I understand Spags is going to blitz. That's in his nature. It's in his blood. I don't mind the blitzes. But if you could even have a more fortified D-line, I'm for it. The O-line, of course, I agree. You've got Tooney. You've got Creed. They're trying to bring back Trey Smith. Jawan Taylor's not going anywhere. He is a slightly above average right tackle when he's not drawing penalties. Like, a lot of people are, I think, not a lot of people. Some people are lower on him than they need to be, but it doesn't help. The penalties don't help. They don't help his case, and it draws negative opinions and responses and reactions, even for me, in the moment, for sure. But then when I go back and watch, I'm like, he actually did pretty good. In the Super Bowl, he did not. Talking about Jawan Taylor. He did not. Yeah, you've got most of the line figured out, but you've got to keep Joe Thuney inside, which Andy Reid said that's the plan. Got to keep Joe Thuney at left guard, and then you've got to get a left tackle. 1,000% agree. But yeah, thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate you. Bolton and pass coverage is rage-inducing. In the Super Bowl, seeing Nick Bolton in coverage on A.J. Brown was insane. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. KC Lion Squad with the 2 said, I like Devin Neal as a running back possibility. Do we know that he's out of KU? Do we, right? Yeah, out of KU. But do we know when he's supposed to go in the draft? Like he's out of the top 50 on most people's draft boards. Draft Buzz, NFL Draft Buzz has him as RB7 in this draft class. Again, take that as a grain of salt. Quick first step with legitimate breakaway speed. What's his 40 again? They have his 40 here? 4.50. Probably better burst than anything. Yeah, quick first step. I mean, could the Chiefs get him in the 3rd round? Or is that a reach? Is that a reach? DJ Giddens is a better running back out of Kansas? Wait. How many running backs they got? Is he in the draft too? That's crazy if so. I'll get to running backs soon, probably this next week, and we'll talk running backs. Because I do think it's a need for the Chiefs, and it is a position they will actually draft. So I do want to study that position group. Marcus with the 2 said, dang it, I'm late. Sorry, everyone, we got to restart. All right. I don't know what that was. Oh, out of K-State. Okay, I thought I read KU. I don't know why I did. My bad. You can tell I don't watch a lot of college ball. None of our linebackers have been great in coverage this year. Yeah, even Tranquil fell off a bit. I agree. Do I play Madden? No, I suck at Madden, dude. I am freaking awful. Janae's laughing. She's like, yeah. I mean, most people who've been following me for a while, they're like, yeah, don't really ask Cole a lot of draft questions. I mean, I've studied up already more on the draft this year than I have in previous years. Like I'm trying. It's just it's overwhelming. I don't follow college during the season, so it is rather overwhelming. Trying to like dig into everything. It's like cramming for a huge test for 2 months. Marcus, thanks so much for the gifted, bro. Let's get it. We have a poll question going on right now. Should the Chiefs trade for a high-profile receiver? 34% says absolutely, get Mahomes a weapon. 25% said maybe, but no, but more of a number 2. And then 41% said no, we have weapons. Draft a wide receiver. I don't think you should trade for a high-profile wide receiver, not when Worthy and Rice both could have had 1,000 yards last year. So, no. I don't personally think so. Check messages again. All right. Who are the fastest receivers in college football? Ooh. Who are they? Oh, okay. Xavier Henderson out of Cincinnati. Eric Singleton Jr. out of Georgia Tech. Stephen McBride out of Hawaii. J.B. Mitchell III out of Eastern Michigan. How are they determining this? I'll have to read this article later. But I do kind of like it. Yeah, I'll look at that. Thank you. Hannah with the 2. Tyreek, his 200 kids, legal issues can stay in Miami. Hey, I'm not going to lie. I don't really think I covered it on even Cole Breaks the Huddle, but that model situation with Tyreek Hill, I was reading that like, what is going on? Talking about I don't know what you call her, if it's the plus size model or whatever, but she like broke her leg allegedly on his property. Like that situation, I was like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? People are insane, man. Chiefs better off drafting a running back. They lost Super Bowl because Chiefs can only pass the ball. Yeah, I mean, having a bigger run threat would definitely help, but you also have to have a better O-line to even help run the ball. Kicking Joe Thuney back inside is going to help. He left KC and went insane. Yeah, I feel like Andy Reid and company did a good job of being like, dog, you need to relax. I mean, remember why he fell in the draft, guys? He fell in the draft because of character issues. The stuff that happened with his, I think, pregnant ex-girlfriend at the time or whatever, like, that was messed up, dude. So that's why he fell. But yeah, he's gone. He gone. Brand said, I would argue Willie Gay wasn't the greatest in pass coverage either. Yeah, he wasn't. But he was the most athletic linebacker on the team, pretty much bar none. Everything starts with the line. Yeah, offense and defense. Building the line. Let's get it. We should get Malik Neighbors. All right. All right. You're going to have to give up a haul. Let's get it. Hill's the next Antonio Brown. I mean, I hope not. What, Galaxy? What are you saying? They didn't try to run was the problem. Yeah, to begin the game, they did not. 12 passes to 1 run. But even when they did try to run, they couldn't get anything going. I don't think they should have completely abandoned the run like they did, though. I mean, we have AB. We have Antonio Brown's cousin on our team. Who? Who's that? Oh, Marquise Brown. I knew that. That's insane. I forgot, bro. Marquise Hollywood Brown is the cousin of Antonio Brown. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. That's crazy. I remember. Yeah. Yeah, somebody said, is he really? Yeah, he is. Yeah, look, this is from NFL.com if you want, like, legit proof. Marquise Hollywood Brown reveals the advice cousin Antonio Brown gave him before the combine. I remember that when he got signed, when the Chiefs signed him last year, but I forgot. I hope we retain Hollywood Joey. I think we do. Do I like playing football? No. Yes, but I suck. So, okay, I didn't play football growing up. I just always watched Chiefs games. Would I have liked to play? Probably so. Couldn't play now. I can barely walk. I'm like old and washed up, man, at 34 years old. I do love throwing the football. I love pretty much everything about football. Antonio Brown advice to Hollywood. Keep your shirt on while playing. You saved yourself some CTE. Yeah, I mean, I hope as little amount of players as possible get that. But yeah, I did train in Taekwondo, but I didn't take a lot of shots to the head, thankfully. Hannah out here living the life. Come on, Hannah. What's Hannah doing? Marcus with the 2. Thank you, Cole, Mods, and Kingdom for a great 2024 season. Man, I appreciate the heck out of you guys. This season was awesome. It didn't end how we wanted it to, but I had a blast covering the team. We started up our second channel, Cole Breaks the Huddle. Got a couple editors now. Like, it's been a lot of fun. And I know more about the NFL now than probably ever. And part of that is helped by the second channel we started. Like, I've always tried to study up as much as I can on the Chiefs. But when you have a bigger picture of the NFL in general, it only helps talk about the Chiefs. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun this past season. I wish it would have ended on a three-peat. I would still probably be in a euphoric state of mind, but it didn't end that way. You can't win them all. And it was still a great memorable season that I'll never forget. Chris Jones wasn't focused. He was busy shaking hands with the devil. What does that even mean? Do you have CTE? What does that comment mean? Running back will open Chiefs offense. Now, I agree, Joe. Then defenses play both the pass and run game. Once that sciatic pain gets you, it's over, brother. No! Yeah, man, I'm trying to get better out here, but slowly but surely. You think we can trade for Kyle Pitts? I don't think we're trading for Kyle Pitts. The Chiefs just don't have draft picks, man. If Kelsey was retiring, maybe you explore some more intriguing options. What if you let Kyle Pitts hit free agency? Like, what's Kyle Pitts' contract? Like, if Kelsey plays one more year, Kyle Pitts is 24. Was he a first-round pick? I think he was. Wasn't he? He's on his club option right now. Dude, I don't know. I'm just saying. Travis Kelsey plays one more year, retires. Kyle Pitts is a free agent. I don't know. Maybe. Has he lived up to his draft status? No. Not really. But he would be an intriguing guy. For sure. 16 months, said Xander. Time to go 13-4 with Rice and Worthy getting 1,000 yards and win the Super Bowl again. Please. Got to get Rice back from suspension, but then I'm down. Let's go. Where did my chat bar go? I got to refresh the page. Where did it go? Jay Wilker said, move it along, goofball. I don't think you're talking to me. I don't think. Even if we draft a wide receiver? Oh, I am not there. He said, who would you want to get drafted in which round? If you're talking late round, what? See, here's the thing. I'm studying first on positions of need for the Chiefs. So I've been studying D-line and O-line. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Running backs next. Hannah, I love the HBTC chat fam. Some of y'all think money grows on trees. Dude, it does technically grow on trees. Huddle. Do you think, okay, wait. I say we lose to the Lions and Bills in the regular season. That's our only 2 losses. Fine with it. Better to draft Elijah Arroyo than trade for Pitts. Well, definitely don't want to trade for Pitts. I don't like that idea. Especially if Kelsey's playing. You don't need him. But if he's a free agent next year, that's a little bit more intriguing. Tight ends, I will get to tight ends in the draft. But with Kelsey most likely playing another year, I don't know that they draft a tight end, another one. Could be wrong. Oh, he said, not at all about you, Cole. He was saying, move it along, talking about the guy saying Chris Jones was shaking hands with the devil. I don't even know what that means. What do you mean he's shaking hands with the devil? Chris Jones? Money is data mined? Okay, yeah, nowadays, yes. Deximus said, Cole, would you rather have the 2018 Chiefs offense where we go back to a weaker defense, but we have Spags now, or just more balanced middle of the pack on offense and defense? I mean, dude, that's fine. Give me the 2018 offense with Spags as the defensive coordinator. Fine with me. Cash money is actually 90% cotton and 10% paper. Okay, I did not know that. Can't lie. Had no idea. Go watch tape on Georgia Arian Smith. He has rockets. All right. Kevin, thanks again for the 2. I don't know if I addressed it and said thank you, but Tom, thanks for the 2 as well. 90-10, that's facts. All right. Hey, we learning out here today. I didn't even know there was a Zoom tomorrow. Yes, sir. Zoom tomorrow. I'll schedule it soon. Probably tomorrow morning. Chiefs running backs have to catch, block, and pick up on blitzes. Yeah, they ask a lot out of their running backs. It's a pass-heavy offense, so you've got to be a guy that can catch out of the backfield. And then, yeah, pass protection is pretty paramount as well. They ask a lot out of their running backs. You don't shop around your shutdown all-pro corner? Yeah, I don't like the idea of trading Trent McDuffie. Now, if the thought is, well, you're trying to trade Trent McDuffie to load up on draft picks to go get your left tackle of the future, I mean, okay, I guess I can see how you get there. But, like, are you 1,000% sure all that you're giving up to go get this quote-unquote franchise left tackle? Are you sure he's going to be worth it? because we already know Trent McDuffie's worth it. Like, we already know. Yeah, so I don't know that I love that idea. It doesn't make sense to me to trade McDuffie. I think you need to extend him. No, we're not actually shopping McDuffie. I haven't heard any reports about that, but there have been some people. I think Lance has spoken, maybe others. Lance was the only one I saw, but he was talking about, I didn't read it all, but talking about the idea of like trying to get as much draft picks as possible to go get a franchise left tackle. Dina, comment, say hi. Come on now. Yeah, resetting I don't think he'll reset. Sean, you think McDuffie would get more than PS2? PS2 is getting $25 million APY. I think if you extend McDuffie this offseason, maybe he's under that, but I could be wrong. McDuffie might see the cap going up and be like, yo, more. Think Veach and Andy need to hire a promising O-line coach? Yeah, so I don't think they're making any offensive line changes or offensive coaching changes this season. I think you're pretty much stuck with who you got. Corners and safeties are huge keys to what makes our defense solid. Those guys are hard to come by. Facts. Yeah, and you've got Justin Reed, who's a free agent, man. So he's one to keep eyes on. Like, do the Chiefs re-sign him? Does Jaden Hicks take that step up instead? Steven Pinner with the 5. Thank you. I don't know why I did this. Steven Pinner with the 5. He got 5 on it. What's the chance we trade up and get one of the 2 O-line guys out of LSU? Well, let me go glance at who they are, because one of the main ones I've been looking at is Josh Simmons, but he's Ohio State. Yeah, so Will Campbell, he's probably going top 5, 7, 8. I don't think you're getting that high up to get him, and most people think Will Campbell's going to be a guard. So you're probably not going to get Will Campbell. But the other guy, who's the other guy out of LSU? I don't think there's another guy that you would need to trade up to go get. Unless you're saying, yeah, who's the other guy? Yeah, Josh Simmons would be the only guy. Oh, no, Mason Taylor, tight end. So Will Campbell's the main one. He's going to be gone, though. He going to be gone. Is Kareem Hunt coming back? Maybe. We'll see. Any word on who is replacing Borgonzi? Not yet. I don't think I've heard. Did anybody hear? I haven't heard. Mike Borgonzi was the assistant GM to Brett Veach. Brett Veach's right-hand man. He's the GM now for the Titans. Do you think we can trade for Jonathan Allen? I did see that. He got permission to seek a trade. I don't know, man. Like, Jonathan Allen's great, but I would assume he's 30 years old. I don't know what his contract is. Is he going to want an extension as well? Yeah, he's on the last year of his deal. He probably wants an extension. I don't think you give up draft capital and try to extend him, even though I love the idea. But 2 30-year-old... yeah, I don't know. I love it, but I don't. Marcus with a 2. Yo, check X. Just sent you a pic of my Justin Reed jersey. Okay. Oh, nice. It's the salute to service. Nice. That's freaking awesome, dude. Let's go. Yo, Brand with the 5. Just saying hi to you and Danny. May not be in the Zoom tomorrow. I got called into sub and be a ringer for bowling. I don't know what a ringer is. What's that? Bowling ringer. A ringer is when a bowler knocks down all the pins in the first throw of a frame, also known as a full house or a strike. Dude, I don't know. Urban Dictionary said a ringer is any type of contestant in a game who is entered in order to cheat. For example, a professional bowler who plays in an amateur bowling match. Are you going to cheat? Jennifer with the 5. Someone asked about the villain shirt you had on yesterday, and I volunteered to ask. Oh, Jennifer, thank you. That is from Made Mob. Made Mob villain shirt. Made Mob. See if I can find it. I'll just share it on the screen. It's mademob.com. It's these guys. Mademob.com, and I wore this shirt. It's pretty sick. They have some nice merch. A little pricey. It's a $50 shirt, but it's quality. Quality. I got this shirt too. I haven't wore it yet. Dude, they have a couple shirts that I'm like, man, that is nice. Yeah, they got some nice merch. That's not sponsored or anything. I just bought it. It just looked good. Hannah with the 2, my season wish, not seeing Pat run for his life like Forrest Gump. I added that part, but I agree. Got to shore up the O-line. Please, for the love of God. Please. People hate on the Chiefs? Yeah. Say, like, leave us alone. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs have won more than anybody, man. They're gonna hate on them. It's just reality. You think Veach considers trading up to get Joshua Simmons and gives up the 31 and 66 pick if Simmons falls mid to late 20s in the first round? So to answer your question, Kevin, thank you for the 5. I do think Veach would consider trading up to get Josh Simmons. Yes. The exact draft compensation he would need, I'm not sure. I don't know if you would have to give up, 66? Is that your second round pick? I hope you don't have to give up your first and your second. Like, can you give up first and the maybe the Snead third and a later pick to go up there? Cole is overthinking the term ringer. I don't know that term at all. Yeah, I do think Veach would consider trading up for Josh Simmons. Yes. Can you find a trade partner? And then can you find somebody willing? Because it's the Chiefs. So are they going to be like, yeah, we would trade with you, but we're going to want this, and this. Like, can you find somebody to play ball is a big question. Got to get back to work. Oh, let's go, Marcus. Heck yeah, bro. Thank you, man. Have a great night. Gots to tell you, what's up, Night Hunter? I live in Cincy. They are already talking to Higgins about a new contract or extension. Yeah, for sure. They want to keep Higgins. They want to keep Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is staying. He's probably going to get 36, 37 million APY. Some people said 40. 40 million APY is insane. I don't think that's happening. Surely not. But that's fine if they do. You don't think Higgins is all that? I don't know if he's worth 30 million a year. He's a good wide receiver, though. So Dina's home, going to hang with her. Heck yeah, Britt. Can't wait for the season. I'll try to make it tomorrow, but we'll be at dance class. Give the kids and Danny a hug. Oh, heck yeah. Britt, if you make it after, come say hi. I saw that, Hannah. The Bengals GM spoke at the Combine. I don't remember what he said. Just the goal is to get deals done with all these guys. And T. Higgins tweeted out, cap emoji. Rave with the 5. Cole, where'd you get this pullover from? This one? Where did I get it? It's at Union Station. Rally House at Union Station is where I got it. Yep. I think we should re-sign Hollywood. Yes, I do. Well, guys, that's going to be it for me for today because we got a long day tomorrow, member stream and Zoom call tomorrow night. So appreciate everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you guys had a little bit of fun. I know it's the off season and it's a little bit slow until free agency frenzy picks up. And then we got the draft. Then we got the drought. We got the draft, then the drought, then training camp and preseason and all that. But man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thanks, mods, for holding it down. Thanks for all the dono bombs, the questions, the memberships, the gifted, all of it. And until next time, let's go. Say it with me. Let's freaking go.